Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be testing some more mufflers. Got a fully ported Johnson Red 2171. We're going to make some modifications on the UFO pipe since that one did a little better. And we're going to see what happens when we put a stock muffler on a ported saw. So, stick around. Alright, let's take a closer look at these. This is the modified. It's already fully ported. It says 2165, but it does indeed have the 50 millimeter top end. And I'm pretty sure, yep, it has a low top air filter as well. So, this one should be an extra stout work saw. And this is the muffler mod that it has. Let me grab a flashlight and we'll see. Looks like it's still just a stock outlet up top with the screen. What? This is a fully built machine work, all sorts of goodies inside. And the owner, David, builds a really strong saw. Had a few of his on the dyno before. They've done really well. So I don't expect any less out of this one. But people were asking, what happens when we take a ported saw with a muffler mod and everything else, and we choke it down, put a factory muffler on it? Can we make power without the noise? But people were asking, what happens when we take a ported saw and we choke it down with a stock muffler? Can we really make power without the noise? So this will be fun, but we'll get some baseline runs on this as it arrived. Make sure it has a 7-pin sprocket on it. There we go, 7. This saw's been in service a few years. Treated them well, you can see. Well used. Just a good old everyday work saw. So we'll test the muffler that's on it. We'll be testing the stock can. And we're going to test the UFO muffler from Morgan. And Morgan asked me to make a little filler piece to restrict this outlet size. So we'll tack this filler piece in. Be just about like that. So you can see a little bit better. So we'll put that filler piece in. And hopefully the flow will circle around and funnel down. And the outlet will actually be the tightest spot. So hopefully we can form like a nozzle with this, like so. But we'll try this both ways. As it is now, and we'll tack this little filler piece in. And we're still going to let the giveaway go for a couple more days. I haven't forgot about everybody. But if somebody chooses this pipe, we want them to get the best result. So we'll get this Johnson Red filled up and put on the dyno. We'll top the tank off, some 40-to-1 Dominator. Now I kind of like the way that these Johnson Reds look. The lower top, the red and black color scheme. What's everybody else think? Am I the only one, or are the Johnson Reds almost a little bit better looking than the Husqvarnas? We'll get this one fired off. Alrighty, that one runs. So we'll get it bolted onto the dyno. And let me know which one you guys like. Do you like the red and black Johnson Reds with the low top? Or the all orange Husqvarnas? Alright, so what we have, we're going to put that plate in the UFO muffler. Still a little warm from our run, but it just goes in, hooks on there, and we'll tack it in just like so. Let me get it mounted to my stand real quick. It's just nice to have a third or fourth or fifth hand sometimes. I'll just try and get a tack right up there. Alright, we'll get this tacked on. Looks like it's staying pretty good. Alright, we'll rotate that around, tack the bottom side. And this is just simply to restrict the outlet area. We'll see if it helps on this style of pipe. That should do exactly what we need to do for this test. Let's take it off here. I'll show you a little bit closer. So this is what we got. We put this plate in. It's about like this line. That way the gases will come up and swirl around and out. And this outlet's the smallest area now. So we'll see what a little bit of extra pressure does. Morgan asked me to tack this plate in. So I tacked it in. And we'll do another run while we're at it. Anybody think that the smaller volume will help over the full open? Leave a comment and let me know. Alright, here we have the modified UFO pipe. So before we look at the results, we'll go over what we tested. We got the UFO pipe. We tested this with the divider plate and without the divider plate. Now, which one do you guys think run better? The smaller outlet or this whole area? And here's the muffler mod that we had. Now, a lot of guys like to do that, cut out that square part of the muffler brace. Or you could add a deflector to the side, and eventually we'll get to testing those. But this is what showed up on the saw. We ran it as it showed up. That's a fairly common muffler mod on these 372s. You either really like it or you don't. Some people prefer deflectors. Some people like pipes. And we tested a bone stock muffler. Still has the screen, still stock size outlet. And all these tests were done on the ported saw. So stock muffler, that size hole, which a little bit smaller than what the UFO was. Let me know what everybody thinks. Did the muffler outrun the pipe? Did the pipe outpower the muffler? And did it really help restricting this down? Leave a comment, let me know. And now we'll get into looking at the actual results. Alright, we'll look at all the results first, and then we'll break it down into group by group. So, what we have the unmodified UFO. It's this light blue pipe, put out 8.38 horse. And that's the same UFO, exactly as we ran it on the stock saw. No modifications. And then, this black line, that's the modified can. You can see it doesn't quite make the same peak power, but it does run out a little bit better and falls a little bit short of the UFO down low. And then this blue line is the restricted UFO. See, it really gives up the torque, and it is a little bit less power. And this pink line right here, that's putting the stock muffler back on the ported saw. You can see it drops it almost a full horsepower. That's a pretty significant loss just to keep the quiet saw. Now we'll break these down into pairs. Alright, here's the UFO pipe, unmodified. 8.38 horse, 4.9 foot-pounds. Versus the stock can, 4.26 foot-pounds and 7.45 horse. That's a pretty significant loss everywhere that you're going to use it. You're going to feel it. You're not going to hear it because it's actually quiet. But that's a pretty big drop in performance just by putting on the stock can. I do believe that'll answer the question of, does it have to be loud to make power? And everything that we're seeing so far, the louder, better flowing that the pipe and or the muffler is, the better power it's going to make on these saws. Now this is completely different than if we're doing a long expansion chamber where the cones and angles and tapers and everything are all set up to work at the peak RPM. There may be a slight chance in that. If we did a single tube, and maybe we'll do that. We'll just make a long straight header pipe and we'll see what different lengths do on that. Maybe we'll get to that. Let me know if you guys want to see something like that. But so far it's looking like these pipes just slightly edging out the modified muffler. Not by an awful lot, but a little bit more. The way that the sound comes out of them, it's definitely going to feel like it's edging it out. And it does actually make a little bit better power. But this is what we have for the UFO and the stock muffler. Now we'll look at the UFO modded and unmodded. Alright, here we have the unmodified UFO. 8.38 horse, 4.9 foot-pounds. And this is the restricted UFO. 8.18 horse and 4.56. Like I said, horsepower, that's only down 3 or 4%. The torque gives up 7 or so % down here. So it definitely loses more torque than it does the horsepower. But that's because it's pretty much a linear type graph. Just a drop all the way across. And again, if you're really used to this power and the way this pipe runs, you'll be able to notice that, see it, and feel it in the wood. Is it a huge loss? No. Maybe to some people, that little bit quieter, a little bit different tone is worth it. But we're just talking about power output and sound. So this is another one where the loud pipe really just seems to run and flow and produce better power. All right, thanks a lot, everyone.